So today we're reviewing the Audi A5, the old 2019 Audi A5. I like Audis because in general they're very, kind of like high-tech, nice looking cars. They're very conservative on the design. So if you see an Audi, they're very kind of similar, and kind of like their headlights, front and back, they're very unique, and they're kind of leading the automaker in that sense. And this one in particular look like the old Audi A7, which is pretty good looking car. This is the key, lock, unlock, open trunk, and this is the S-Line model. So when you get in the car, this is what you see. See, the dash is right here. I like this steering wheel better than before. It's kind of like smaller here. You have a very nice screen. It's very responsive. This is a bigger screen. It's kind of like a 10-inch screen, which is very good, but it's unfortunate it's not touch screen. In general, the leather, in the car, sunroof, everything feels solid in the Audi. This is one good thing about Audis. It's everything inside the car feel very solid. This is like, it's kind of like nice about that. So when you turn on the car, put on the brake, turn on this, so you see it requires an oil change. Well, awesome. So you see this gadget, it's very nice screen. I think it's one of the best screens I ever seen in a car, almost as good as the Teslas, and way better than the BMW, the new 3 Series. This one's pretty also good, but in general I think they could make the entertainment system, maybe the layout in general different, or at least they could give us options, but in general it's very responsive. It feels expensive here. The dash itself, it's very solid. There's like the piano black here, piano black here, piano black here. Everything is very Audi. And in the back, it's one unfortunate. It seems like there is space, but it's actually a little bit squeezed. You're gonna be squeezed in this car. This is the A5 4 doors, which is pretty interesting. That why Audi bring up this car, because usually the sports A5 is usually 2 doors. The 4 Series 2 doors, the Mercedes CLA or the CLS, it's usually a sports car. But this segment for Audi, I think it's a win, because it's not as small as the A4, and it's not as like super luxury as the A6. It comes in the middle, very sporty, and have 4 doors, which is very good. Now in terms of driving, the car drives pretty solid. It feels like a sport car. The only complaint is kind of like low to the ground. Let's put the seatbelt, because this thing is keep beeping, but it does stop. You see, it does stop when it feels like you grabbing it. It does stop. So it's kind of like a smart. In terms of like technology, you have the front screen in front of you, and you have all the sensors. It does have pretty good technology. In general, Audi has been good in technology for a long time, and they've been good so far. But I do, the new BMW 3 Series, it's one of the cars that have the most technology in it, just because of the the things that you have. They have reverse thing assistant, and they have parking assistant, and they have controlling lanes. It keep you the same lane you want to drive in. This car does not have these kind of technologies, but it's very good. But I think probably the next generation, probably A5 is gonna have all of these, maybe in a couple of years. But when you're in the highway at 60 miles per hour driving, and like a driving assistant, it's pretty convenient, honestly. So everything feels very expensive, and the layout of the design in general, it's very nice. You have this center console that you control through the knob, or you can control through here, and you have these buttons, which feels expensive to touch, for the AC, heated seats, and it's very nice. And the temperature shows here on both, so it's very easy. You have parking sensors, you know, you have all auto parking all around the car. There is sensors that tells you. The camera is very nice, and this one, that, you know, the front screen here in front of you, it's very, you know, nice and crispy, and actually it's one of the best. You could go, there's so many things you could do, you know, the mileage, you know, maintenance, you know, connection, phone, you know, the maps. You could make them smaller, you could make them bigger, which is very handy and very responsive. Here in general, the infotainment system, you could control it through this knob right here, and it's very good. But I'd say it's unfortunate, like the layout of it's probably not one of the best. You know, I personally do not like the layout, but it in general is good. I personally like the BMW iDrive system. I think it's one of the best. If this one is touch screen, it would be awesome, but unfortunately it's not. Here's, you have a sunroof, and here's the buttons for the sunroof. You know, you could, you know, the previous generation, they have this thing, you could roll it. This one, you could just open this one back and up, which is, you could up like this and down. And there is a shade here, so this shade you could actually remove it, but let's just close it for now since it's freezing cold outside. Camera sensor, you know, they bring, you know, sensors from almost all sides, back and front. The trunk space for this car is pretty convenient. It's pretty big and handy at the same time, and you could see the whole car from here, and it's very decent size. You know, it's very nice, handy. In general, I do like the hatchback better than the regular trunks, just because you could fit more things in it, and just looks way cooler, you know. And when you want to close it, you just hit this one and it's done for you, and you have a sexy back car lights from the back. An amazing feature that this car have is when you put it on park, when you put the car in park, it automatically shuts down for you, so you don't have to press, you know, the start engine stop thing. Worst things I don't like about this car is actually when you drive, you feel like you touching the ground. It's just as simple as that. I don't know why. I don't think they have the best suspension technology in this particular car. Like the newest, you know, 3 Series or the new Audi, you know, A7, A6 is, the suspension is way better. Where this particular one, you just feel too low to the ground, and it just not, it feels like a sport car. You know, when you're driving, it technically feels like a sport car. I mean, it's not bad car, it's very good looking. You know, the price is within reach. So the starting price for this Audi is about $54,000. This particular S line, I believe it's $64,000. There's a you know cheaper version. You know, if you just want to get the regular Quattro, not S line, regular one, but you get it around, you know, 40-ish, 648 with the discount. You know, the dealer have discount, and there's a bunch of promos going on. But they have a Quattro as standard, and this is what I like, because, you know, previous Audis, some Audis have Quattro, some Audi doesn't, but actually it's one of the best 4x4 systems in a car. BMW 3 Series have almost as good as suspension as the, you know, the newest 2019 one. One cool thing about this Audi A5 and why I recommend it over the Audi A4 is, you know, just the unique design of it. And it's, you know, you see how the windows have, you know, they almost have like a no frame thing, which is very unique in a car, but it's obviously breakable unless these, you know, they seem solid, so they should be good. But here the problem, when you go inside, you know, when you go inside and sit down, you sit too low. Like, oh, I feel like I'm scooping down. Like, you know, a regular Audi A4 or, you know, all the series are a bit higher to the ground, you know, A7s, A6. Another good thing about this car is the speaker system. The sound system in this car, actually, it's one of the best sound systems in a car, period. They really use this premium sound system, you know, Audis in general, for a long time, and it's pretty good. It's like anything that BMW or Mercedes came up to, And you know, the sound system is very unique, and oh my gosh, it's so loud and so crispy, and in general it's amazing. Like, very nice. This is like a couple of bars in. You could put the, you know, the sound all the way, and you could hear the crisp, clear sound, you know, coming from anything. The mirror shades in front of you, it's kind of like small. You just feel like in a small car, but it's actually big. It's actually a pretty big car. One fantastic feature that this car have is actually when you're driving and you pull up to your garage and you put it in park, it automatically shuts down for you, so there's no need to press, you know, the stop start engine thing. It just automatically shuts down and you get out of the car, which is very handy and useful. You know, with the promotion, you know, in the Black Friday, Christmas time, you could get one as low as $40,000. Pretty decent one, 2019, you know, that's a very good deal, you know. And I think this four-door A5, it's gonna become one of the best cars, you know, Audi have, because just feels sporty, you know. It's very not super expensive like the A7s, and have a very similar look to the A7 previous generation. Newer generation is kind of weird, you know, but it's very nice in general, and the price budget, it's very nice, handy car. But in general, you know, driving this car is very elegant, you know, nice looking car, very comfy, everything works. You just need probably just to get used to, you know, to the seat position, you know, it's lower to the ground, you know, it's kind of weird suspension system they have for this car, but everything else, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's very usable, you know, four-door car that Audi, you know, hit the jackpot with it. I matched the jacket with the color of the car, so it would be cool. It's very interesting car, but it need to get used to drive, you know. Like the C-Class Mercedes, you know, E-Class Mercedes, they just drive smoother and higher to the ground, which feels a little bit more luxurious. But the A5, it does a fantastic job. If anybody is considering to buy this car, it's a very good all-rounder car. And that's it for the new Audi A7. It's a fantastic all-rounder. I recommend anybody that have the cash to get it immediately.